Hey, St. Andrews, good morning. Happy Thursday. I hope all of you guys are having a wonderful day and off to a great start for your morning, and your morning routine is proceeding smoothly. I know that a lot of you guys are working from home, and your work from home probably entails a computer for the most part. And speaking of computers, computer security, cybersecurity is a really important thing. And on that topic, I just have a quick question for you. What is Forrest Gump's computer password? You might have guessed it. One Forest One. Yeah, nobody here was laughing either. It's okay. But speaking of being at home more, you do have a lot more time around the house, and hopefully it's fun time and productive time and great quality time for all of you guys. But I know that a lot of us are just working on projects and making changes. So what kind of stuff have you guys been up to? Have you started any new hobbies, started any new habits, or gotten back to an old hobby or an old habit? Have you been building something, or just doing some projects that you've been putting off? Any redoing or changing, any remodeling or things like that? Please comment below and let us know what you've been working on or added or changed. Here at the Baldwin house, we have been redoing some things. We've painted a lot of the house. We've refinished a lot of the woodwork. We had a hole in the roof that our roofers needed to come and fix from our roofing job a couple years ago. And then my father-in-law taught me how to do some drywall and mud and tape to fix the resulting water damage. And then we're just kind of doing some redecorating and reprioritizing, like I'm sure most of you guys are. We've gotten rid of a lot of stuff that we didn't need or weren't going to use. We've made some changes to our habits. Added some good habits, changed some bad habits, and for me personally, it's been nice to just find some time for a hobby, or just to pick some things back up that I haven't gotten to do a lot of. And of course, everybody's catching up on a few TV shows and movies, and we'll just kind of leave it at that. But again, what have you guys been up to? Please comment and share, and you might give everybody a few good ideas on what they can add next or do. And so for many of us, this has been a time of changes, not only here at our house with whatever we've been doing. It's been at work with your job. Myself, I'm a school teacher, so we're starting distance learning on Monday, so that's going to be a big adjustment. Just like we don't get to see each other in worship, not being able to see my students in the classroom face to face that's been a struggle, and I'm sure it will be too. And just trying to find ways to connect and stay connected. You guys, all of us are dealing with changes for how we. I hate to say go out and play with our friends, but how do we go out and play with our friends and socialize and interact with others? And especially for those that don't have or don't use technology, that's been kind of a struggle to keep those relationships up and everything else, or even just make it running a routine errand. Hey, I need to go buy a new shirt for my Zoom meeting. Oh, retailers aren't quite open, or different things, or having to shop online whereas you would be in person, or just really going, do I absolutely need this, and making the decision from there. And then we've probably seen an uptick in the world of the internet on people learning how to cook from home, and I've got these 5 ingredients. What can I make? Whether they're out there playing Iron Chef or Top Chef in their house, or just kind of cleaning out the pantry and making stuff go. But yes, it has been a world of changes. But one thing that I do really want to stress, both to myself and to everybody else, and one thing that we need to remember, is that no matter how many earthly things change, the things of this world change. It's constant. That's the only thing that doesn't change, is change. But God doesn't change. He is our constant. He loves us today. He loves us tomorrow. He loves us forever. That love can't ever change. It won't ever change. It doesn't ever fail. No matter what we do, we haven't earned that. That's what the grace that was given to us. And probably the most important, that He's always with us. He's always watching over us, and He will never ever leave us, no matter where we're at, or what we've done, or what we wish or desire or think. Our Bible verse for the day is from Psalm 121, the New International Version. I lift my eyes up to the mountains. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. Now, how many of you just heard the song with that? I lift mine eyes up to the mountains. Where does my help come from? Now, okay, I'll stop singing. If you watched last week's video, you probably know why. But back to the word of the Lord. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, He who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore. Friends, this is good news, and this is something that I know I personally needed to hear this week with all of the changes in my life, my routine, and the way that I see and interact with the world. And just from Sunday morning, having 10 of us at church instead of the normal couple of hundred, and only really getting to see our congregation online, and just from work and everything else. And I'll be the first to admit, being home more, that's a blessing for me. That's a blessing for my life, and I have zero regrets about that. And finding the new normal afterwards is something I look forward to. But this, just with everything else, this is the reminder that I needed for my week, and hopefully it's a message that can bless you as well. Just no matter how things change, the love of God never will. And so I know last week I used the Matt Maurer song "Love Will Hold Us Together," and I guess just he and I are on the same wavelength, or I just really appreciate his music quite a bit. We do play some of it in worship, but this week I have a different song by him called "The God Who Stays." This just, again, it hammers home that message that God will never leave us no matter what. And some of the words, if I were you, I would have given up on me by now. I would have labeled me a lost cause, because I feel just like a lost cause. If I were you, I would have turned around and walked away. I would have labeled me beyond repair, because I feel like I'm beyond repair. Oh, but somehow you don't see me like I do. Somehow you're still here. You're the God who stays. You're the God who stays. You're the one who runs in my direction when the whole world walks away. You're the God who stands with wide open arms, and you tell me nothing I have ever done can separate my heart from the God who stays. I don't know a better way to say that message, and that's a song that's been just kind of in my ear for a few weeks or a month or two now. It's kind of hard to measure the passage of time with this, but sometimes I feel like just a song takes hold of you, and that's one of the ones that has. I have included a link in the comments for you to listen to the song, and I really hope that you enjoy it and that it speaks to you and comforts you like it does for me. One thing that I really find fascinating is the venue that he's playing in. It's called The Cavern. It's in the Cumberland Hills in Tennessee. It is absolutely amazing, and after Stephanie showed another Matthew West video from actually the same concert in the service a couple of weeks ago, I looked it up because I thought, man, this place is cool, I want to go there. And one thing that I learned was I read by the sound engineer that most caves and rock venues need some sort of acoustical treatment, just because the echo will be everywhere, and it's kind of like just a giant sound chamber. But this place was made almost acoustically perfect. They didn't have to do any sort of treatment or anything to make the room work for concerts, performances, and everything else. And God just created that to be perfect. It's almost like he knew that the comfort that would be needed from the music created and shared there. So, like we talked about things that you're doing around the house. Last week, my father-in-law watched the movie Lilies in the Field with Sidney Poitier. I've never actually heard of the movie, but it was a lot of fun. I mean, it has everything you need in a movie. It has the New Mexico desert. It has 5 German nuns that really don't speak English. One of them kind of does, and she speaks more than she pretends, but I don't want to give away the plot. And really, I think the whole crux of the movie is that it has, from one of the main characters, an incredible and unshaking faith that God will provide. If you are faithful enough, and if you pray enough, and you are diligent enough, that God will provide and God will make a way. And it was really cool to see how that evolved into the movie through that character and then the other characters coming together to believe. And one of the things about movies that I love is the soundtrack, and this movie has a song in it that stuck out to me that just kind of was a recurring theme from the movie, and it's called Amen, Amen. It's an old gospel song, and in one of my home and school projects is to make and record as much music as possible over the next few months. And so I've created a little video of me playing this time, not singing anything, so we don't have to listen to that again. And then I've included a link to the original version from the movie as well in the comments. So I hope you enjoy it. And again, as always, thank you guys for watching today. And remember that no matter how much the world changes, our God never will. Have a great day.